We're just about there. Mhm, mhm, mhm. There we go.
Well, I guess my computer ain't gonna come up tonight.
No, how come?
There
Okay, that's locked. This goes down to here. This goes down to here. We're all set with that. All right. A couple minutes before the show.
we
Hey, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast pre-show, which has been reduced greatly.
go.
It's we'll be starting in about 3 minutes or so, and yeah, welcome. If you can tell, we're still sick. This cold has some days you feel better, some days you don't, and so we are both
Come on.
sucking on warm beverages. Um, Amy's got her coffee, and I have an apple spice tea, which is like awesome. So I'm going to put the yucky spoon over here. Let's see, I'll put it on this. Just have to remember it.
Yes.
Otherwise, not so good. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. Um, the weather around here has been very, it's been a cold fall already. It's just been a lot
Yeah.
colder, a
Well, the
lot of days that are
cold
down in
is
the
fine, but the rain is
wet.
just
And it's not
gross.
just us, it's everywhere. Scott Burks left a message last night. He couldn't make it with us last night, but left a message that in Chicago it's cold and wet. Uh, Chad said that their rainy season has started back, so it's wet there. Sarah's like, "Oh, it's springtime and warm and wonderful." Thanks, Sarah.
Right, shut up, Sarah.
New Zealand.
You're in a different.
We were just watching Lord of the Rings, so I'm
Yeah.
just saying, you know.
She's on the other side of the planet. Nobody
Hmm.
counts her,
Wow. So yeah, it's
especially when she's talking about spring and
nice and
nice
warm.
weather. Shut up.
Of course, we've been razzing her because it was wintry, and
Oh yeah,
we'd razz because it was nice and warm here. So
yeah.
tit for tat, as they say. The Yeah, it's just that's how it is. The weather's just been yucky. We've been in the 40s. I mean, it's disgusting.
I think it got up to 52 on my way home.
Yeah, it's like no, this is North Carolina. It's supposed to be like in the 60s at least.
Yeah,
So it's
but
been
it's what
colder
makes
quick.
everybody sick.
Yes, and that's what's happened. We've gone for a whole.
Hmm.
Hey, Static J, how you doing, sir? We've just we've had this cold for a week. Last Thursday we did our show, and then I went on Geo Gearheads, and my voice actually got better as things went on. And
Hmm.
then the second I was done with it, it went like right from Barry White to Isaac Hayes.
Hmm.
So it was like, this is your appetite talking, if you remember that commercial. Anyways, yeah, it's been fun being sick. So what the way I look at it is, this is it. I get my sick, it's over with, and I'm done the rest of the winter. That's the way I'm going to look at it.
I'm about done.
Yeah.
I'm about
Yes.
over it. So
Yeah. I was feeling fine a couple of days ago, and then it just kind of creeped back up again. It's like, oh, great. Yeah,
yeah.
but that's how it goes. Lots of good things. All right. Let's see. Not too much in the geocaching world, except for the stuff that we're going to be talking.
Absolutely nothing for
Yeah,
us.
yeah. Not too much. It's just too wet, cold, and sick. But you can thank wife Amy for half the content that we're doing the show. She actually started the meeting, so she's actually been not only been to the meeting, she started the meeting, and came up with the content for the meeting. So that's what we're going to be having uh, to the show tonight, and we have a special prize that we are adding to this month's cash dash, and we'll be talking about that. And it's just fun to say, So it's the Geo Booger, Geo Trail.
Mm-mm.
No?
Wood booger.
Wood Booger. That's what it is. The Wood Booger Geo Trail. And yeah, it's just fun to say. Wood Booger. So it brings out the 6-year-old in me. I love it. All right, I think it's just about time. And we will get going with this. Let me make sure everything else is set. It looks like it. And all right, let me get the overlay turned on. And I think we are just about ready. All right, folks, sit back, relax, get your favorite libation, your favorite snack. The GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast is coming at you right about now. Well, hello. And no, I still can't get the true Mrs. Doubtfire's voice yet because mine's still out because of my cold. So, hey, welcome. Welcome to the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. I'm your host, Andy HeadHardHat Smith, and I am here with the wonderful, the delightful, the DeWitty wife, Amy, who's also, trying to do the best she can with the cold. And how you doing, darling? Oh, she's busy talking to the
I'm
chat room.
fine.
Yeah, it's how it is. Good stuff. Glad to see everybody back. It's wonderful to be back, and we love you guys being here as well. So thank you for either watching us live while we do the show or listening to us on the podcast. We greatly do appreciate it. Let's see, it is November 9th, 2017, and my right ear just went out.
My left one just went out.
I don't know why. So that was an interesting sensation. That's probably the common denominator. Oh well, we'll make do. There it goes. Starting to go back. It's weird. A little technical fun that's going
Mine's
on with
not.
it. But we are in the GeoSnippet studios here in Raleigh, North Carolina,
Oh well.
and it's yucky out. I don't know any other way of putting it. It is cold. It is wet. Static Jason, keep the cold to yourselves. Yeah, Static's a busy guy. He's into a lot of stuff, and so I can see why he wants us to keep our germs to ourselves here. And quite frankly, we like to keep our germs to ourselves too. We don't want to spread this to anybody. But yeah, it's just been cold. It's wet in North Carolina. To sit there and say, yeah, it's in the 40s. This should be like January.
Yes.
I mean, it's been really cold, very wet. It just a nasty fall right now, which doesn't help the cold and flu season that is running rampant through here right now as well. So you can tell we weren't feeling all that great last week, and it's still going on for me. Amy's getting a little better, but mine comes and goes from day to day. So that's sometimes I feel great, other ones it's like, oh, not so well. Let's see, lots of good stuff for you tonight. Matter of fact, wife Amy, you have to thank for half the stuff that we're going to be talking about. She actually not only was she attending the meeting, she made the meeting. So we actually saw something that caught her eye that sounded good to do on the show, and that's what we're going to do tonight. Really, really good. So you say to yourself, how can you watch the show live or generally get in touch with either wife Amy or myself? It's very simple. To watch the live feed and join us in the chat room by going to www.geosnippets.com on Thursdays at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. We also have all our social media links included for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel via the geosnippets.com website. Click on that, and every time we do a podcast, it goes right to your subscribe button. Makes it a lot easier for you to go and find out what we're up to. Let's see. Finally, we have our voicemail line where you can call in your questions, your comments, your suggestions by calling 919-341-9519. Or you don't even have to worry about that, especially for the phone charges for people overseas or anywhere, really. All you have to do is go to www.geosnippets.com, and on the right side of the screen is our Send Voicemail tab. All you have to do is click on that and use our Speak Pipe application, and you can record up to 3 minutes, anything you want, milestones, comments about past shows, questions that you'd like to ask us, anything like that, by all means, we love the feedback. Let us know, and we'll put it on the show. Excellent stuff, and a great way to get your voice out and have us put the voice with the names, which we love. All right, good stuff. It's great, it's free, and it's easy to use. So by all means, give it a try. No viewer feedback tonight, which is one of the reasons why we kind of like it that you do send in stuff so that we have stuff to talk about. But tonight we don't have anything per se for that. So let's move right into this. And the theme for tonight is wood booger. Just saying. You'll find out more about that in a little bit. But it's just fun. Like I said, it just brings out the...
brings out the 3-year-old in you.
Well, I said 6, but, however you want to look at it. Let's see. Tonight's episode is brought to you in part by gxproxy.com and gxproxy.eu for our friends in Europe, for cachers serious about leaving their mark.
And also by coinsandpins.com, the best place to get custom coins, geocoins, lapel pins, and patches made. Go through our GeoSnippits links and use the promo code HeadHardHat for a 10% discount. And FYI for our listeners, you can sign up for their newsletter to get notified of when new coins and patches are available for sale. We're also very thankful to all of our sponsors, and if you want to see more of their products, please be sure to go to our GeoSnippits websites and simply click on their logos. Not only do you get great deals, but it helps our program as well.
Absolutely. Moving on. Yeehaw! Yep. It's just not going to make it yet till that cold goes away.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We've got GIFF and fun geocaching things to do. GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast, episode 218. So, yeah, we last week was the GIFs, the Geocaching International Film Festival. Mm-hmm. Which is starting to become quite an international thing.
Mm-hmm. There's more international than there is U.S.
Yeah, we were really surprised. We were watching it yesterday, matter of fact. We're going to have in the show notes where you can see the finalists. And it's a YouTube video, very similar to what they did last year with 2016. And it's just a nice way. It's about an hour long. And it's just a quick, fun thing to see all the finalists that they did for the GIFs this year. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have a links so that you can go right to that and check it out if you haven't already. A lot of people went to GIF events where people set up, screens and projectors or rented theaters or whatever type of thing that they could do to get everybody together so that, large event and have people watch them. So very good if you did. And I'd like to actually go to one of those. Mm-hmm. If we have to host one of those years, I think we should. Mm-hmm. Because it's a lot of fun. And there's not a lot involved. I'm sure you can go to any restaurant, and as long as you got a projector and a phone, away you go. Mm-hmm. So very, very cool to do. So I was going to ask you, Amy, that we watched them yesterday, and I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot.
Oh, Lord.
What was your favorite?
I was like, you think I remember them, huh?
Which ones? You don't have to come with the names, but just some of the situations that you liked.
Gosh.
You want me to start off with one to kind of refresher?
Actually.
Well, okay.
Oh, I did like the winner. I did like that one.
Right.
Because that was kind of cool to see everything.
Yeah. It was called Geocaching Day in Vilnius, which is where again? Latvia or something like that?
No, Lithuania.
And very, very, it was just a day of geocaching with this geocacher. The scenery was beautiful.
Yeah.
The thing that I liked was there were several creative caches in there where I went, I'm going to want to borrow that idea.
Yeah, we did like a few of those.
Because that was really cool. With they had one that was unique that was for your standard guardrail.
Yeah.
But it was a handmade piece that just fit perfectly right in.
It looked like part of the guardrail.
And it looked like part of the guardrail, but it was the geocache.
Which
it was
really cool.
Really cool.
Yeah.
There were a couple other ones that they had.
I like the one in the tree.
The one in the tree was really cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. And one of the comments that we realized when we were watching this is that if there is a hole someplace in the
We'll stick a
geocaching world,
cache
we'll
in it,
stick a cache in it, because there were a lot of them that you would have had to measure and fit,
like the
and
guardrail.
like the guardrail, or the one that was like in this. It was like I don't know if you want to call it a copper fitting or a pipe fitting that looked like what we would call for your road
Manhole covers.
manhole covers, but it was sideways. Big old hole in the center of it, and somebody fitted it and painted it to make it
Yep.
look just like it was great, nicely done.
Yeah.
Um, so by all means, if you want to see some really good ones, the other one that I liked that I never realized that I would get emotionally attached to was called A Travel Bug's Life.
I really like that one.
That was great.
That was
It
cute.
was cute. I don't want to spoil it for you, so I'm just going to see it. But there's a part in it where you just go,
Oh.
"Oh," and they purposely kind of drag it a little bit
Uh-huh.
longer, just enough for you to just go, "No." So it was really sweet. It was very nice that it ends in a happy thing. All
Yep.
right, I'll
Here,
tell
and
you.
along comes the pooch.
Yeah, so it's awesome. Check that one out. And the other one that to me personally was my favorite.
Yeah, the Lego.
No, Legos were good. Somebody actually did stop action with Legos. That was very cute. I like that one. That was probably my second favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite was called Geocaching is Free, and it was made
Oh yeah.
for somebody in Australia that did it. Not going to give it away. Just watch it. It is hilarious.
We likened it to a free puppy.
Yeah, well, think of it like puppies are free.
Yeah.
Same concept, but very well done.
Yeah, it's good.
Very well done. So by all means, check out the and we'll have in our show notes tonight. All you have to do is go to GeoSnippitsReboot.com, where we keep all our episodes, and you can binge on them whenever you want, and then make sure you check out the link that goes to the finalists, because it is a lot of fun. It was really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing. Just like I said, I was very pleased to see how many different countries put
Yeah.
in their submissions. It
Yeah.
wasn't a rampant USA thing.
Oh yeah.
Starkhacker
Yeah, George.
said like George Geo Orge. There
Uh-huh.
was just a bunch of them that
Yeah.
was absolutely a riot watching,
Yeah.
and it's interesting how different people have different ways from different countries to to show off and to present their ideas of geocaching.
Yeah.
There was one in which was the one called like the road with China.
That was beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, that was very
nicely
nicely
nice.
done.
And it was just some of them were funny, some were a little more on the educational, some of them had little twists in them. It was just really nicely done.
Yeah.
So bravo to all the people that sent in for a GIF, whether you were a finalist or not. It takes effort, and it's appreciated. It really is. It's very cool for things like that. And we,
Mhm.
we love it.
Mhm.
All right, let's move on to the next part. I'm going to bring this up on our screen for the people that are watching the video live or after we record. And for the people in the listening to us on the podcast, you'll be able to follow along with us as well. And Amy caught this. I actually caught it just before she sent in the suggestion. And I'm going to bring this up
Sent
here.
in the suggestion. I emailed him.
You emailed it and said, "Hey, this is cool. Want to do it in the show?" And I looked and I said, "Wow." And she said, "Yeah, this is a meeting." So this is really cool. This is called, and this is right out of the geocaching blog, literally called 15 Reasons to Love Geocaching. And I thought this was really neat. This is very well done. And it does. It really it actually touches a lot of the things that people try to get across in the GIFs.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. It's really kind of neat. So we're just going to kind of go through this and make our comments on each one. And basically, according to the blog, they said, we asked geocachers to share why they geocache. Their answers reminded everyone here at the Geocaching HQ why they're more excited than ever to support this game, and they hope that these inspire you. Number one was, you find that discovery, exploration, and adventure still exist in the real world. Yeah, it doesn't have to just be Indiana Jones.
No, it doesn't.
We have our own ways of finding our own.
Mm-hmm.
We may not get that, Inca treasure every time we go out, but
Yeah,
sometimes
but
it's,
you see new things.
it's the adventure. One of the things that they wrote on there is I think it is so real that there are hidden everywhere. There's a whole world around us that most people never even notice. And that was one of the things that they showed in one of the gifts. And I think we're going to refer to them a lot as it pops in our head with this, where they talk about, you never knew this statue was here. You never knew this mural because you drove by it
About 100
500 times
times.
and
Yep.
never looked at it. It's amazing how that goes. And then you get places like this where it's just breathtaking to
Mm-hmm.
see stuff like that. And I guess depending on where you grow up and where you live on a day-to-day basis, I talk about Sarah from Geocaching Podcast, who lives down in New Zealand, where she's got all the, she sees the mountains and all the stuff that we look at movies like Lord of the Rings and go, oh my gosh. Because she said, yes, there's a lot of CGI in Lord of the Rings, but there's a lot of it that isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And to see that day by day, and for us to sit there and go, man, I love this. She sees it all the day, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
look, another mountain. It's interesting how you miss stuff when it comes to things like that. Number two, it gets you outside. And yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
One of the comments was, I geocache to get out of the house and enjoy nature. I've been taken to some very beautiful places in America, Ireland, and England. I would never have seen what I've seen if it wasn't for geocaches. And it doesn't have to be the big, vast mountains. It doesn't have to be the huge, you know, 360 view of stuff like that. It could be a really cool tree, a lake, a pond, the Greenlands. It could be all sorts of things that doesn't necessarily have to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
But visually, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Neat stuff. Number three, it's a great way to stay healthy while having fun. There's so many people. One of the ones that they had on there in the gifts was a geocacher that was geocaching by horseback,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was kind of interesting. I've heard of people doing that in my discussions with other geocachers over the years. And, it doesn't matter. There's people out there on bikes, walking, using those Vespas. I mean, there's all sorts of different ways to get around when it goes to go geocaching, kayaking. I mean, that was really cool. There was a lot of stuff about that in the gifts. Number four, it's fun for the whole family. It really is. The comment on there is, it's the thrill of the find, and it's getting the whole family out of the house and doing something fun together. And I've had many people write to me over time about the videos and how they inspired them to go out, to go geocaching, and how cool it is to get the kids, let alone the grown-ups, out of the house, away from the TV, and away from the video games, and just going out and go geocaching and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Neat stuff. Do you want to try one?
Sure.
Okay.
You can see the world. It takes us to some amazing places off the beaten track that we would never have known existed.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the running theme for when it comes to geocache. I never known that blank was there if I wasn't looking for a geocache.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you found that little hidden park that you lived there for 20 years and never knew that existed, let alone going out in the wilds? All right,
All
number
right.
six.
And experience new places like a local. Why geocache? Because it takes you to places that you never knew existed. It's such an adventure.
Yeah, and they're so creative when it comes to ways of hiding geocaches. The one that they have here for Welcome to Amsterdam is nothing more than a sign that has a hinge on it that opens up, and on the front of it has, some kind of picture or something that people don't even realize that that's a geocache.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really cool. Let's see, number seven, or discover places you never knew existed right in your own neighborhood. Just like I said, they said, I discovered places I've never been, even though I've been there a million times. Again, a great theme that we saw several several times in the gifts. Number eight, You can learn fun facts about planet Earth. It's excuse me. It's so much fun to take the family out, see nature, or even places you would never have seen before, and feel like you have a purpose. It's neat. There was a place here in Raleigh, by one of the other areas that I contracted for and worked, and went for this geocache. And there was this little mini waterfall that nothing as elaborate as what you see it here on the screen, but it was just the river was wide. I mean, it was probably about half mile wide. It was big.
Mm-hmm.
And here's these multi-stage waterfalls that I had no idea that that was even there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's neat when you go there and just see stuff like that. It's like what I wanted to do is some other time just take a picnic and go out there just to spend an hour and enjoy the scenery,
Mm-hmm.
which you can do when you find stuff like this. I'll let you do number 9.
All right. And help give back too. A geocache for fun, nature, and health. And they're doing a CETO
Mm-hmm.
event.
Yeah, like they said, the world is our game board, and we like keeping it clean, and that is one of the main things that geocaching is known for, is for cleaning up air. Excuse me, this cold is really getting to me. It's a great way to clean up areas, and people, the community, appreciates that.
All right. You will be delighted by the work of artists and engineers. And it says there are some very clever cache owners that have put a lot of thought into their caches. It's more than finding just Tupperware in the woods.
Yeah, and again, another thing that you saw a lot of with the gifts were how creative the geocaching hides were. Very, very cool. Very nice. Excuse me. I'm going to take a drink here.
Oh, yeah, they were pretty creative.
Yeah, very, very cool. Number 11, and you can make the best of friends. And yes, absolutely. Uh, that looks like Easter Island if I can place the picture here.
Yeah, it looks like
I
it.
really like geocaching events. You go to meet and greet so many people. And there are people that have lifetime friends that have
Mm-hmm.
been made because of geocaching. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very cool. Number 12, you might even fall in love. Yes, I love geocaching. You take the one you love when you go geocaching. It's great. It says, I took my wife caching out on our first date to take the focus and attention off of me and put it on something I thought and hoped she would like. Fast forward, Linda and I are now, we found love. Team
Mm-hmm.
geocachers. I love it. It's really a lot of fun. Number 13, it will stretch you to your limits physically and mentally. And the quote for that is, I love a challenge and the thrill of victory.
Mm-hmm.
The one that gets me is what I call the dough factor.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you go and you look and you look and you look and you look and you can't find it. And then you either come back or you come back the next day and you sit there and it's right there. And it's like, dough. That's part of the victory for me.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very cool. Number 14, but also guide you to moments of peace and serenity. I can't tell you how many times we went geocaching, planning to go in for an entire afternoon, and then went to a cemetery cache, and then spent an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours walking around the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those type things. You find the things that do. They find you those moments of peace. For us, it's like looking at the gravestones and kind of filling in a picture of what the story is behind the family and all
Mm-hmm.
the different things that went on with that. You could do that just as easy walking in the woods, walking around different areas with different types of architecture, all different ways of just sitting there to be able to kick back and go, this is awesome. And that's one of the beauties of geocaching. And finally, number 15, you'll have stories to last a lifetime, and that is so true. The quote with that is, every geocacher who shared why they geocache had an incredible story to share, a story of discovery, exploration, adventure, and friendship. And that is so true when it comes to geocaching.
Mm-hmm.
There is just so many different things that you can go through with geocaching. There's stories I think I've forgotten over time because
Yeah.
there's so many of them,
Yeah.
because they pile on each other when it comes to things like that. So if you want to go through and check the photographs out and see the 15 reasons to love geocaching, check out the geocaching blog. And again, we'll have a link to that page in our show notes at GeoSnippitsReboot.com. So be sure to check that out. All right, good stuff. Let's move on and go from there. Hack, hack, cough, cough.
Your support helps keep all of the GeoSnippits Reboot shows running along. Please consider making a PayPal donation through the link on our website to support our efforts and your ongoing entertainment. From all of us at GeoSnippets, we thank you.
Yeah, it does cost a lot of money, and we just got some of the big bills in this past week for the podcast hosting and the websites and all that, and it's pretty expensive. So it's because of you fine folks and your donations that helps keep us going. So if you would please go to geosnippets.com or geosnippetsreboot.com and click on either our Patreon or our PayPal logos there. And if you could throw us a couple bucks each month, we would greatly appreciate it. It does help keep things going and allows us to bring you shows each and every week. All right, good stuff. Moving on. All right, we have the GeoSnippets Geocache Stash, and it's going to be from now on. It's going to be this really cool box, unless the prize is bigger. And in it, the way that we're going to do this now is each month we are going to have the items that are in the geocache stash. We are going to add an item each week. Now, for November, we're going to do this a little different because sometimes we may go 2 weeks, we might go 3 weeks, we might go 4 weeks, and then do a grand prize for whoever wants to get it. And each time we'll have a way for you to send in your entries for it.
Now, we may have 3 or 4 this month because Thanksgiving, we're not doing a show
Right.
Thanksgiving.
So what we're going to actually do, there will be 4, but you won't see the 4th one till the night of the drawing.
Okay.
Is the way that works. Now, to do this, the task for this month is it is time for us to get all your holiday wish lists for geocachers for 2017. And what you do is you come up with 5 items you want as a geocacher. And you take those five items and you type them in an email and you send it to gsreboot@gmail.com. That's GSREBOOT at gmail.com. In the subject line, you put Holiday Wish List 2017. And you've got until November 29th. The drawing is going to be November 30th. And somebody's going to win 4 very, very cool prizes. Now, last week, we put in GX Proxy has an Alaska Tundra Geocoin and Proxy that we described. If you want to get more information, check out episode 217 and it'll give you the information about it. For today, this happens and we love it when it does. We have some really good friends of the show, which is Bible Man Rick and his wife Sally, and we've known them forever. They're fantastic friends of ours and friends of the show. And what they did is they sent us to put into the cash stash this very, very cool. You can't see too much because it's still in the wrapper. This is and I just love saying it, the Wood Booger Geotrail Geocoin. The Wood Booger, the Wood Booger Geotrail Geocoin. It is awesome. It is very cool. And this is going to go right now into the cash stash for November. So that's in here, and is one of the prizes that you can win out of somebody's going to win it all. But the only way that you can get your chance in is to send to gsreboot@gmail.com that holiday wish list 2017 with 5 items. And somebody from out of the drawing will win everything that's in the cash stash for November. And again, that'll be on the 30th. You got to the 29th to get it in, but on the 30th, that's when we're going to have the drawing, and then we'll go over the wish list as well. So
Okay.
excellent stuff. Don't forget, very, very cool. And there's 2 more prizes going in for that over that. And like Amy said, on the week of Thanksgiving, we're not going to have a show that week. So there'll still be 4 prizes for the 4 weeks that we do have it. All right. Excellent stuff. Wow, that half hour goes quick, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Excellent stuff. Please don't forget to send in some feedback for us to talk about. We'd love to do that. And I think it's time to wrap this one up. All right, please let us know what you think about tonight's show. If you have any comments, questions, send us feedback. We'd love hearing from you. Please consider becoming a patron for their show. And finally, please tell other geocachers about the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it to spread the word out and to build up the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast universe. All right, Miss Amy, if you would be so kind.
We want to thank our sponsors, gxproxy.com and coinsandpins.com, plus our amazing patrons. Want to thank Andy HeadHardHat Smith, and thanks to everyone watching and the chat room. Please keep those comments coming in.
Yep, you guys are awesome. Special thanks to wife Amy for everything that she does. And finally, a thanks to you fine folks for coming by each week and giving us a watch or giving us a listen. We greatly, greatly do appreciate it. All right, folks, have a good one. Have a safe one. And we will see you out on the trails. Bye-bye, folks. Please be sure to join us each and every Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time for another episode of the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast, right here on the GeoSnippits website at www.geosnippits.com. The video version of our show is available on YouTube, and the audio version is available on iTunes, Stitcher, Blueberry, the Tech Podcast Network, Google Play, and many of your favorite podcatchers. We love hearing from our viewers and listeners, so please leave your feedback by emailing us at gsreboot@gmail.com. Visit us through our social media sites or contact us via our voicemail line at 919-341-9519 or use our website Send Voicemail tab. GeoSnippits Reboot is a HeadHardHat production and is produced by Amy and Andy Smith. The show is copyright 2017 by Andrew T. Smith. All rights reserved. And clear. I heard you snicker.
It's only 1:30 a.m. in North Ireland.
Is it really? Oh, Snack Jay's up.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. 1:30 in the morning.
He has babies.
He does.
Well, a baby.
Yes. Well, the other ones are grown up and practically married in college now.
The other one's in school.
Yeah. All right, folks. Have a good one. Have a safe one. And again, thank you to Bible Man Rick and wife Sally for that prize. That's nice. Awesome. Very nice. And somebody's going to be very happy with their own wood booger. All right. Have a good one, folks. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.